I mean, I've never actually I've had Tinder on my phone, but I've never had the guts to go on a date with anyone because I just feel like everyone on Tinder is just pretending to be someone else. Like they just want to basically shag you, and that's pretty much it. So I just don't really make the effort. So yeah.
So, if you were looking for a partner, what would you prefer? Would you go online or would you meet them face to face first? What do you think is the best way?
I think face to face is better because the pictures are not the same. When you meet someone in real life, they're totally different to the pictures.
Have you got any other comments about online dating or?
I think, if it works for you, then that's good. But personally, I think that if you go out and bump into someone, meet someone socially, it will be better. Yeah.
I think it's become more culturally acceptable. Like we were saying downstairs, when I was a kid, it was kind of a cringeworthy thing to be online and dating, and then in 2013 all these apps came out, and I don't know, amongst my friends we were kind of cringy, but we were still downloading it and using it. What was the first part of that question, sorry?
Just what do you think about online dating in just as a whole, really?
Okay, online dating as a whole, I think it can work for some people. I think what it's done is it's allowed people to kind of be whoever they want to be online, and it's not the actual truth. But I also think as well it's giving people the fear of rejection. So if you match with somebody and then they don't respond, you have ghosting. And ghosting is one of the worst things ever. There's a lady called Sherry Turkle, you might have heard of her, MIT professor, and she talks about this, and she talks about ghosting. And she says that if I'm in a room and I talk to you, are you going to respond with nothing? And that's what ghosting is. And you read these stories or you hear people that might have been seeing each other for a month, and then all of a sudden one of the people decides not to respond. And I think the world of online dating, and even so just general social media, has allowed people not to respond and also be keyboard warriors. So they kind of say, look, like trolling, for example, they'll stand behind their computer screen and write whatever they want to write, but they won't dare say it to your face. And that's quite cowardly, actually, So I think it's creating a whole generation of people who, A, don't trust other people. You swipe left or right, and it's all based on your age, your looks. It's quite shallow. And I also think people are becoming more disappointed with having relationships because of it. So they're not stepping into having relationships, and people aren't looking at each other on trains anymore. People aren't talking in public because they're all immersed in their phones. So generally, I don't know, I don't think it's a good thing. And you've got all these different apps and they're all trying different things. So you've got Tinder, that's kind of based on hot or not, yeah? Then you have Bumble. Bumble is the one where women have the power, so apparently. So we match, but I have to message you as a male first before you can message me. But then if I message you and you don't respond, well, you've just ghosted me and you're a bit of an arse. And then there's Happen. Happen is where you're in proximity of each other, and you'll be you're past each other, and then you match, and then you may or may not talk. So yeah, I know that men use it differently. So men will go like, and see what comes back to them, where women are more kind of objective in what they match with.
Yeah. Do you think it's more of a younger generation sort of thing compared to the older generations? More you go to a club, well not a club, but you meet social.
Yeah. Okay. So I think with the oldies. I think the oldies are more open to the idea of online dating, so going onto a website. I don't know whether or not they're so au fait with the app side, or app dating, let's call it, even though it is online. I'd probably say people who are like my age, so early 30s, early millennials, we're kind of a bit like, oh, I don't know, but we still participate in it. But I think with your age group, it seems to be a more accepting thing, but you seem to have more success with it. But I don't know whether that's because you're younger and, you know, you have to kiss a lot of toads, I imagine. So yeah, I do think it is a more younger thing. But ultimately, when you're using these apps, if you can just try and find a friend, that is probably a more healthier way to look at it. So I would embrace any kind of app, like say if there was one for creatives, so creatives can match with other creatives, that would be great. But yeah, it's definitely a younger person's thing, but I feel you're not going to see the impact until the babies being born today are kind of your age. Yeah.
Any more opinions on online dating?
I wouldn't say this is an opinion, but I think this is something you should go and look at. I saw it on BBC News this morning, and I can't remember the chap's name, but it's one of the original founders of Facebook.
Okay.
And he's now no longer on social media. And he's talking about social media as a bigger pool rather than just the dating side. And he was saying when they designed Facebook, so this is when Mark Zuckerberg was a student and he was in the room, and if you've seen the social, what's it called, the Facebook or the social network film, the reason he started it is because a girl had ignored him. And it was started on a whole psychological play of manipulation. And this founder is saying this, go and look on BBC Tech World, it will be there. But what he's saying is they didn't realise, or they're starting to realise now, the impacts that it's having on people and what it is having culturally on people. So where before we kind of accepted the world, we're now not trusting the world as much because there's so much noise. And I think when you've got big tech people not being on social media, that says a lot. They don't even believe in their product anymore, but we're all kind of brainwashed into it. And I mean, like, you guys are the internet babies, so what, you're 95, 96? Yeah. Yeah, excellent, happy birthday. But yeah, if you're the 95, 96 babies, you've grown up with the internet, where if we were born like early 80s, I have a pre-internet mind, where like my nephew who's like 1, he's not going to know a world without the internet. So that's interesting. I will give you this quote as well. Ken Ferro and Nick Middleton talked about online dating to me. These are 50-year-old men, I hope. I'm sorry if I've added years onto you. But they said to me, back in my day, guess what we used to do when we tried to date? We used to go and talk to girls. Yeah, come and talk to us, we're not that scary.